Hello, I'm D3 and there's something fishy going on here. Today we're going to talk about how to make custom 3D backgrounds. I get a lot of questions asked about backgrounds, so today we're going to talk about all the myths and the benefits of the backgrounds. First of all, I'd like to get into how to make it. So I'm going to show you pictures as I didn't make a video, but I'll explain step by step so you can do it for yourself. Anyone who knows me will know that I'm not really good at drawing, but I do have good ideas and good visions in my head. So I had a vision for a pyramid tank, and my friend suggested putting an eye, which was a great idea because I said, okay, that could be the sandfall. So that's how this tank started off. But not all of my tanks start off with a drawing, and some of the best tanks I've done actually were just freehand. So I started out with an old tank because I wanted to show you how you can make an old tank look good rather than always buying a new tank. So the first thing I did was I cut out 2 pieces of polystyrene to go at the back of the tank, what you can see running the entire length. Then I cut out 3 triangles for pyramids. Then I put them in the tank to see how they look from the different angles and get a shape of how the tank is going to come together. So after looking at it from the different angles with only 3 pyramids, I decided that I would need some more pyramids. So I cut them out, and also I decided that I would do the sides of the tank. So here you can see the sides and the extra pyramids that I've cut out. I also wanted to make the middle pyramid stick out, so I put an Eye of Horus on there, and I've already covered that just so that I could get a visual of what it would look like. I was happy with how it looked, so I decided to work on the filtration. If you can see, in either corner I have an angle, and that creates a space, a void. So that's going to be where my intake and outtake go on either side, and additional heaters, air, whatever you may require. I was happy with the basic shape and design of the tank, so it's on to the next step. I siliconed 2 pieces of pyramid together, sometimes 3. I then carved them out with caves and tunnels. I then coated them in Quickcrete and then coloured cement after I carved out the hieroglyphics. The only piece I done individually was the pyramid containing the sandfall. Now if you don't know how to make a sandfall and you would like to know how to make a sandfall, then please check out my channel. I have videos on there showing you how to do that. Once you do that, you can incorporate the 2 videos together and you can make your own beautiful 3D background with a sandfall. At this point, I carved out the background and I coated it using the same method. The background has caves and tunnels, some of which I won't see, but that's alright because the fish will make use of them. I siliconed the pyramids in place and the background in place. I didn't put on the side pieces as I needed to wait for the background and the pyramids to dry. Once the background and the pyramids were dry, I then siliconed the side pieces in and also done the panels to hide the filter. What I do, but it's optional and it just adds them personal touches to it, but is once it's all siliconed in place and it's all dried, I like to then add some more concrete and more cement to the gaps. So any gaps that you have or any panels that you needed to put together, you can blend them up so they look like one complete piece. So I was now happy with the background, but I'm not happy with the colors. So I decided to color it, and I wanted to go with a yellow color to match the pyramids and the sandstone. I also wanted a sandstone kind of finish, so I didn't want to use any paints on this one. What I used was a cement dye. So if you're looking for a different finish and you maybe want it shiny instead of like a matte finish or a sandstone finish, then your best option will be to use a paint. If you're not sure on which paints to use, then please check out the channel, because I have videos on which paints you can use and how to use them. Now, the way that I cycle my backgrounds is I connect a filter and I fill it up and I turn it on for a day. After the first day, I empty the tank, I clean the filter. I then do the same process one more time. After this, the background should be ready to start cycling as normal. So if it normally takes you 2 weeks to cycle your tank before you put your fish in, cycle the tank for 2 weeks and then put your fish in. Always test the water before you put your fish in. So I'm going to play a few clips of a few of my tanks, what I've done with sandfalls, while explaining the myths and the benefits of the backgrounds. The first myth is silicone. I want to talk about silicone. Now, when I first started doing this, I was told about mold resistant silicone being not fish safe. This is a myth. I've used numerous brands. I've used different types of silicone, ones containing mold resistance, ones that don't, and I've never had a problem with silicone, providing you follow the cycling methods. Backgrounds taking up a lot of space. Any of the backgrounds that I build look like they take up a lot of the tank, but actually they don't take up a lot of the tank, and they give back to the fish in the form of caves and tunnels. These provide plenty of hiding places for fry and smaller fish, as well as fish what don't like the light too much, like the plecos and catfish. Let's talk about cleaning backgrounds, because I've heard many people say it must be a nightmare to clean your background. Now, I'll tell you what is a nightmare: aquascaping. Every time you think about doing a different aquascape on your tank, it's a long process of you taking out everything and putting it all back in the fashion that you want it. Now, with the backgrounds, they constantly change on a daily basis. Some days I wake up and the background's completely green. Some days I wake up, it's completely brown. Some days I wake up, it's completely fresh. So it's constantly changing, and you'll never see your background look the same twice. So once you have your background in place, there's no need for aquascaping. So we talked about the myths. Now let's talk about the benefits of the background. So the benefits are: you don't have any pipes visible. No filtration is visible in my tanks. No air lines, no wires, nothing. Another benefit of the backgrounds is you can build them to how you need, how you would like them to look, and the needs of your fish. For example, if your fish like caves and tunnels, then you could build numerous caves and tunnels on your background. The surface area. Now, we talked about backgrounds taking up a lot of space, but actually when you're giving them back in caves, you're actually giving back a lot more surface area. On average, I'd say that my backgrounds increase the back glass surface area by 20 times. So the amount of beneficial bacteria within the background itself is a lot. Also, polystyrene is a very good material to use. Water can pass through it, but very slowly. So when you have your background in place, the water will pass through your polystyrene background very slowly. This will create a nitrate removing zone. So your tank will require less water changes. The tank I have showing in the video now has been running for 2 months. The nitrates is less than 5 parts per million, and I have not done one water change on it. There's a lot more benefits to having a background in place, but I can't go through them all now because I like to keep my videos short and sweet, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. Feel free to post any videos or pictures of 3D backgrounds that you've made using the methods that I've shown in the comment section below. There will also be a link below to join the Facebook group, and you'll be redirected straight to the Facebook group where we have lots of fish experts ready to answer any questions. Don't forget, subscribe and like the YouTube channel videos. As always, I hope this was helpful. This has been D3, something fishy going on here. I'm out.